In this presentation, we will memorize a custom report to our custom memorized report location within QuickBooks Pro 2020, QuickBooks Desktop 2020. Here we are in our Get Great Guitars file. We currently have the Open Windows open. You can open the Open Windows by selecting the View drop-down up top and go into the Open Windows list. Now we're going to be creating a report. We're going to save that report to a specific location for the memorized reports. The reports we're going to start off with is a balance sheet. We'll create a comparative balance sheet. Let's first start off with the standard balance sheet. We're going to go to the reports up top. We're going to go down to the company and financial and go down to that favorite report, that balance sheet standard report. Here is our balance sheet standard report. We're going to do a bit of customization to it. So if we just change the date here to 12/31/20, that's our standard balance sheet. Let's do a little bit of adjustment. Let's make it into that comparative balance sheet so we have something worth memorizing. Once we're done with that, then we're going to go to the memorize report field up top. We're then going to memorize, we're going to change the title of it. We'll memorize the report and we'll put it into a specific group that we have set up called My Reports. Now we set this up in a prior presentation to put it into My Reports. That is located in, if I close this back out, the Reports dropdown. If we go to the Reports Center, then you'll recall we have the tabs up top, the Standard tab, and then the Memorized Reports. Here is the categories that we can put these memorized reports into on the left. My Reports isn't there yet because there are no reports in it. However, if we go to the Edit Memorized Report setting up top, you'll then see this layout of the reports, and there is our grouping that we had set up by selecting the Memorized Reports drop up or rise up, and then creating a new group. I'm going to close this back out now. And then we're going to go back to the balance sheet. We'll go into the balance sheet. And then I'm going to customize this, making a comparative balance sheet once again. We're going to go to the Customize Reports. And I'm going to try to recreate that comparative balance sheet fairly quickly. I won't do the whole detail on it. But just to get good at some of these options, we'll practice it real quick once again. I'm going to change the dates up top. We're going to make it from 02/01/20 to 02/29/20. We're going to change the totals to the months now. So we're going to make it a month. And then I want to see the previous period. I want to see the change in dollars, the change in the percentage. Then I'm going to go to the header and footer tab. I would like to remove the date prepared, time prepared, and report basis. We're going to say the balance sheet is going to be a comparative balance sheet. And I'm simply going to call the dates are going to be, let's say, January and February 2020. So that's going to be our adjustments there. We'll then go to the fonts and numbers. Within the fonts and numbers report, I'm going to say that I would like to see the parentheses around negative numbers, make them red. I would like to remove the pennies, remove the cents. So that's going to be our adjustments. If I say OK, and I'll just go through this one more time. Here's the header and footer, and then here's the display tab. I'm going to say OK. And then there's our report. Now I would like to save this report in a memorized section so that I can then create it again and not have to make all the adjustments we did here. So I'm going to go to the memorized reports up top. I'm going to call it, it's already named what I would like it to be named, the comparative balance sheet. It pulled the name from the name up top. If you would like to call it some other name, or possibly you have multiple comparative balance sheets, then you can adjust the name here. Then I'm going to go to the Save Memorize Reports. Then I'm going to select the category, which I want to put it into My Reports, and then say OK. So we'll say OK. And then it takes a picture. If you have the audio on, it'll sound like a camera kind of. And then I will then close this. And then if we go back into our report center, we're in the memorized reports within the report center. And you may have to refresh it in order to see the My Reports. So if it's not showing up, you can close it back out, go back to the reports, go to the report center to kind of refresh the screen. And then I'm going to maximize the screen. We're going to go back into memorized reports. And then you should have My Reports here. The reason, if it's not there before, it's because we made a change to add a report to a grouping which had nothing added to it prior to that. So then if we go into the My Reports, there is our comparative balance sheet. If we were then to run that report, then we have our comparative balance sheet. And we have a lot of the changes that are going to be there for us. And we can if there are other users that are using the QuickBooks system and don't know how to make those changes, then this could be much easier to allow someone else to use the system. Also easier not to forget, the kind of changes you've made. It can be kind of confusing to just remember, should I to put the comparative here, or should I to change the dates and whatnot, which you may still have to do as the dates change and whatnot, and to change the things like the red numbers and these type of things. So that's one way to have the memorized reports.